Okay. Once again, my name is Dala Alfonso, and this is Private Transformation Minutes. I am broadcasting live from Omaha, Nebraska, and today we're continuing our series on how to develop a strong, positive mental attitude. Now, we started discussing this issue. Why? Because it is very, very important for you to have a positive, strong attitude with regards to the results that you want to accomplish in life. Why? Because the outcomes or the results or the rewards that you get in life can be directly defined by the kind of attitude you develop or the kind of attitude that you portray. So, today we want to look at the seventh element in our discussion. We're talking about the keys or the elements or the different attributes for a strong positive mental attitude. And today we're going to be talking about mastering your goals. We will be discussing mastering your goals. Now, what is a goal? A goal is simply a set of objectives or targets, if you want to call it, that an individual or group of individuals have set for themselves based on what they have envisioned or seen. Meaning that there is something that they desire, and so as a result of that, they articulate that information into a timeline and say, this is what we are working to achieve during the next set weeks, months, years, or whatever it is. Now, let me just make this very plain that it is impossible for you to become successful in life if you do not master how to set goals. Why? Because your mind, the human brain, is an organism that by design has been created to be task oriented. What that means is that your mind, your brain is always looking for the next thing to accomplish. You've heard the saying that an idle mind is a devil's workshop. That there is just so much truth in that because the mind, the brain, is never designed to be idle. It is supposed to be engaged. So if you don't give it constructive things to work towards, it is going to look for things to do. All right, that is why a lot of times you find out that people who do not have objectives and things that they're trying to accomplish end up, being the scum of society, becoming a threat to every other person because the mind will look for things to keep it busy. Now, but that is not, I'm not just talking about high level goal setting. I am taking it one step further. I am talking about having the ability to get your mind to a point where it is subconsciously creating goals. I'm talking about a point where your mind is subconsciously creating goals. It is actively setting targets. It is intentionally working its way to get certain things done. That is what I am talking about. And so today we're going to be looking at how you can be able to set goals, what kind of goals you're going to be setting, and how your mind can be able to take that information on a proactive basis and subconsciously be running with it. We've all heard about SMART goals. But today I want to even take it one step further. I will talk to you about smarter goals and how exactly that is going to work. Because here is the truth of the matter. If you set vague goals, you will get vague results, meaning that if your goals are not clear, if they're not specific, if they're not very, very rightly defined, that you who is running it or somebody else who is looking at it knows exactly what it is that you are trying to accomplish, it will so happen that you will not hit those goals. Of course, we all know that goals have to be measurable, they have to be achievable, they have to be realistic, and of course, they have to be time bound. But today, I want to take that one step further. I want to let you know that any goal that you set that is not exciting, if your goal does not excite you, then you need to look at it again. It is very important to have exciting goals. And then lastly, it is important to have rewarding goals, meaning that by the time you accomplish that goal, are you going to look at it and say, yes, I did something, I made something, and so you're excited about it. So it is important to have smarter goals, which means they have to be specific, they have to be measurable, they have to be achievable, they have to be realistic, they need to be time bound, and I will add that they have to be exciting and rewarding. So it is important for you to have smarter goals. Now, having said that as a foundation, let's get into the specifics. Now, In order for you to be able to get your goals to work, or to be able to get your goals from the state of being an idea, because there's a clear difference between an idea and a goal. The difference is that you have made it a part of who you are, and the mind, being an organism that is actively looking for ways to accomplish tasks, will automatically help you create a roadmap from where you are to where you need to be. The first thing you need to learn how to do is that when you define your goal, you need to write it out. It is so important for you to document your goals. It is so important for you to articulate your goals in a way that you can see it clearly. If it is a goal that you have pictures of, for instance, let me give you two examples. Instead of you saying, by 2020, I'm going to be living in my house. Maybe you should be a little bit more specific and say, by 2020, I'm going to be living in a 3-bedroom, 4,000 square feet home, in XYZ part of town, with, with a garage, with 2 dogs, whatever it is. You have to be very specific, because the more specific you are, the more information your mind and your brain has to be able to start working its way towards that goal. Just saying, I'm going to be in a house, you could end up in a house that you don't like, but that might not have been the thing that you envision in your mind. So it is important to be very, very articulate with your goals. That means you have to be very, very specific. They have to be clear. You have to write it out. You have to have pictures if you need pictures, and put it in places where you can see them, because the moment your eyes can see it, your mind can articulate that information, and your brain will begin to work out the details. It is important not just to write it down, but also have timelines, meaning you have deadlines for when you need to accomplish certain tasks. You have to be specific, be clear as to what day, time, month, whenever it is that you want to get those things done. And the more you're able to do that, you will find yourself actually working consciously. Your mind enters into a subconscious mode where your goals become the pictures that it is working on, even while you're sleeping, to help you find a roadmap to accomplish that goal. The next thing you have to be, another important thing that I want to add, is that make sure you always add what I call stretch goals, or what we call stretch goals. Stretch goals are designed to stretch you. They are designed to cause you to grow. They are designed to cause you to develop additional skills, talents, abilities, whatever things you need to do to build yourself up. Because by the time you get to the next level, there are going to be challenges that you're going to be there are going to be challenges that you will engage at that point, and you need sharper skills, a more diverse array of skills for you to be able to sustain whatever successes you're going to be enjoying at that point. So I am going to encourage you that as part of your goals, it is critical for you to have stretch goals. Now, don't just have stretch goals. I read about something called breakthrough goals. There are certain things that you need to accomplish in life that will just elevate you to the next level. For instance, if you're somebody who runs maybe you run 1 kilometer or 1 mile a day, in 20 minutes. That's what you run in 20 minutes. Can you imagine what it would look like if you decided to run 10 kilometers in 1 hour? I mean, that would be like it's a quantum leap. It's like you've just gone from ground zero to somewhere that you did not even imagine possible. So it is important for you to have a breakthrough goal, something that you are working towards. That's one of the things that I learned early from some of these books that I told you I've read, that has caused me not only to constantly challenge myself, but also to be able to meet my immediate targets, and also keep my eye fixed on things that I'm trying to accomplish on the long run. Now, let me stop here for a minute and ask you this question. What kind of a goal that if you accomplished right now can change your life forever? What kind of a goal? Do you have what I call, do you have a breakthrough goal? Something that, is it financial? Is it marital? Is it relational? Is it business-wise? Is there something that if you were to accomplish today, it will give you the resources that you need, it will give you the platforms that you need, it will give you the contacts that you need, it will give you the money you need, it will give you the what are your do you have a breakthrough goal? Then if you have that, it is something that you need to constantly look at. You have to constantly envision. You have to constantly look at. Recently I was in a meeting overseas, and I met a young man whom I hadn't seen for over 20 years. And during the course of the meeting, we were both guests to that event. And during the course of the meeting, while he was up there performing, he stopped and he said something that changed my life. It changed something in me. he stopped for a minute and said, maybe it is time for me to share this testimony, as he called it. And he said, 20 something years ago, actually, that was in 1998, so 20 years ago, he said, Dala invited me to be a part of his project. And I never imagined, I never believed that anybody could see that gift in me to the point where they would even consider me to be a part of their project. And then he went home and was telling his mom that, this is what happened to me. And, I never even imagined that anybody could think that I have that gift in me. And all the while there has been this thing inside of me stirring that said, I am going to be big someday. I am going to be traveling the world. I'm going to be performing in front of thousands of people. I saw it, but I just did not know how it was ever going to be. So that simple invitation to be a part of his project, for me was validation. You see, that humbled me, because I realized that what some of us take as nothing significant, something we just do just to, because we see gifts, talents, potentials here and there, could be the difference between a person who will become successful in life. And this young man today, if I mention his name, you all probably know him, and it's just humbling to see how a simple act could give somebody the necessary strength to be able to get to the next level of their aspirations. So, do you have a breakthrough goal? It has to be something that you have to constantly be looking at. You have to keep fueling it. You need to keep building it. You need to keep adding value to it. And you'll be amazed to see that when the right opportunity shows up, you will be ready. I see quite a few of you are joining us. Please do us a favor, share this video on your timeline so that your friends can join us and be a part of what we're discussing. Now, let me discuss with you how to develop goals into your subconscious, because like I said earlier, it is one thing to have an idea. You have an idea and the idea is like, oh yes, I am going to be successful. I could be successful. I will be this. It's a wish. There's a clear difference between a wish and a goal. How do you get your goals to become part of your subconscious? Number one, you have to write it down. You have to be plain about it. You need to constantly see it. Your mind needs to be able to dwell on it, live on it, breathe on it. Your life has to be built around it, and you have to take the time to write it out. Be very, very articulate about it. And remember, I started out by saying you need to have smarter goals, meaning they have to be specific, they have to be measurable, they have to be achievable, they have to be realistic, they have to be time bound. But I added two more. They have to be exciting and they have to be rewarding, meaning that they have to encompass everything that you want to become in your future. So write out those goals. They have to be plain. I will encourage you, if you have a book where you document all your goals, so that way you can have a point of reference where from time to time you just go look at them and just review them and just keep putting them in front of you. Number two, you have to constantly review those goals. You have to read them. You have to see them. As a matter of fact, if you have goals that are big, things that really means a lot to you, particularly those goals that you want to accomplish immediately, I will encourage you to always have them close by. Maybe design it into some frame or something, or a graphic design, and put it as your wall on your computer or as the backdrop on your phone, just somewhere where you can see it always. And the more you see it, the more you interact with it, the more you review it, it gets embedded into your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is going to be constantly finding ways to bring it to materialization. You have to also be sure that you see it, you continue to review it and process it, and keep being excited about it. But also, I want to add, this is very, very, very important. It is also important for you to start right away. Start from where you are. Setting the goals is not enough, but you need to start working on it right away. You need to start looking out for opportunities where you can actually begin the implementation of those goals, and the more you do it, you begin to see those goals come to fruition. Now, before I close, let me add one more thing to you. Every time you set a goal that, okay, that I am going to accomplish X, Y, Z, three things are going to happen to you. And I want you to remember these three things. For any goal that you set, there are three voices that are going to start speaking to you. The first one is called the voice of reason. It's going to start telling you that, oh, aren't you going to be weird? Aren't people going to look at you funny? Aren't you going to get hurt through the process? I mean, there's too much risk associated with that. It is not saying that you cannot do it. That's a completely different voice. But this one is showing concern. It's coming from a place of consideration. This is, don't place yourself in a situation where, you're going to be hurt and all of that. It's coming with so much care and concern. If I were you, I'll put that thought aside because there is no place for it in the pursuit of your goals. Go out there, do what you need to do, and become successful. The next voice that is going to come is the voice of fear. Oh, what if you fail? What if nobody accepts you? What if you are rejected? Oh, but you are not good enough now. Come on, you should know where the boundaries are. The voice of fear also needs to be eliminated because there is just no place for it. So your thoughts are going to occupy your mind with concern, and then you're going to start having feelings, particularly that of fear that says you cannot do it. And then there are going to be the external influences, which is the voice of obstacles. Basically, things are going to start happening that will cause you, to actually see and think that those things are not going to be possible. You set some great goals and then all of a sudden you lose your job. You set some great goals and then all of a sudden your relationships begin to fall apart. You set some great goals and then things begin to go haywire. Don't give up. Those are just the voices of obstacles trying to get in the way of accomplishing your dreams. Remember, we talked about the place of faith, that you have to have faith in the dream and you also have to have faith in yourself. And that, remember, we said yesterday that no matter what the obstacle is, you have a way of identifying seeds of opportunity within every obstacle. Why? Because every challenge carries enough benefits to cause you to also be successful in it. So thank you so much for joining me again. My name is Dala Alfonso. This is Private Transformation Minutes. If you're watching this and if this has been a blessing to you, I will encourage you to also share this on your video or share this on your timelines, wherever you're watching, on YouTube or on Facebook or any other social media platform. I will encourage you to please share this with other people so that they can also benefit from what we are doing and what we are discussing. And then also, if you have not subscribed to our channels on YouTube, I'll ask you to please look out for us. It is Private Transformation Network. All right, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you can get notification whenever we are broadcasting live. And also, if you want to follow me on faith-related issues and other things that I do, please feel free to connect with us. My name is Dala Alfonso, and thank you so much for allowing me be part of your day today. And I look forward to being with you sometime tomorrow as we discuss number 10 of our journey to 30 on developing a strong, positive mental attitude. So God bless you, and thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget, share this video.